It's winding up right now, man. It's warming up. We are live. We are live, folks. This is, I believe, let me see. I'm going to check just to make sure. Episode 147 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast, live from the Big Daddy Guns studios. That's Big Daddy Guns that you see over my shoulder. My special guest tonight for the top of the hour here, for the first hour, is my friend right here, Reid Henrichs of Valor. Reid, what's up, man?
Hey, Hank, thanks for having me on. I'll always help you out in any way I can, and I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on. So we're going to skip over a lot of things that we usually do tonight because we only have Reid for a certain amount of time, and I know that you guys probably have a lot of things that maybe questions you want to ask, and Reid and I have some stuff to talk about before he goes. So shout outs to everyone that's in the chat, guys. Do me a favor and click the thumbs ups right now. Let's get those thumbs ups going. Let's let everyone know that we're doing this, and make sure you share it on whatever social media you have. Let folks know that we're here. A quick update on what's going on with the YouTube channel. I did reach out. I finally found someone. I dig through my emails and I found someone that I know at YouTube. I reached out to them. Then they started sending me forms. We filled those out. So far, we only got one thing back saying that our channel is still suspended, which it's actually not suspended. It's deleted. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but we are working on that. What I want to do in the meanwhile, I was just telling Reid, is that we set up a page called hankstrange.tv, and you guys can go there. If you go over to that page, what you could do is enter your email, and then we would be able to reach out to you and let you know what's going on. I realized going through all of this, Reid, the number one thing you lose is access to the people. With all these social medias, you don't really have access to the people if something goes wrong to tell them where to go to find you. So hankstrange.tv, guys, go there, put in your email. Yeah, and we're going to use that for, more than just notifying you of what we're up to. As time goes on here, we'll be giving away stuff, doing lots of cool things on there. So it's going to be beneficial to have your email addresses in that. So that being said, my friend, what's going on with you, man? What's up with you?
Oh, just getting ready. We're starting training up next week for the year. Our first class is a week from tomorrow, so we're getting prepared for that, getting the range, getting the classroom, getting everything set up, making sure it's going to be the best that we can. So we've just been pushing hard to, get rolling, pretty much get a running start. So been busy with that, but still been keeping up with everything going on, trying to, get your stuff fixed too. So that's it.
I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate you and Patriot Nurse reaching out to me, and you guys' support. Has that time gone by so fast already? I can't believe we're starting up again.
It's quick. I mean, it seems like it wasn't hardly any time at all, and but yeah, here we are, and we're just ready to hit the ground running with it. We've been very fortunate, very blessed. We're pretty booked up till about July right now, so it's a good thing.
Okay, so then real quick, if folks who are interested in classes and stuff like that at Valor Ridge, how do they do that?
Yeah, just go to valorridge.com. Our website's out there. See which class you want to take, and I'd recommend signing up as early as possible. I think last year we were sold out by April for the whole year, so right now we're about halfway booked up. So I'd recommend getting on that as early as you can.
Also, okay, good. And then for folks out there who want to know about prices and things like that, if there's any, folks are not everyone could exactly, how do I put this, afford, some of these things. They say, everyone's got different price levels. How do you answer those questions?
Well, I mean, people have no problem buying 2 and 3 and 4 guns a piece. They have no problem buying 3 A4 ARs, a couple 1911s, a couple SIGs. So they don't view that as expensive, but they'll view training as expensive. And rather than buying a bunch of guns, why don't you actually learn how to use the ones that you got? And that's kind of my whole philosophy on it. I was a broke college student. I mean, I was making $900 a month as a graduate assistant. I still saved up, still managed to train. I know people got families and everything, but make it a priority, whether it's with us or with somebody else. But I would definitely, train with somebody who had military experience, somebody that had shooting accomplishments, somebody that's actually proven that their techniques work in the actual combat arena rather than just theoretical. Always research who you're training with, because we recommend training with people that have actual experience using the things that they actually teach.
Right. I would say for the training that you guys get and the facilities that you have, all the things that are available there to people that it's a pretty good price, the way that I look at it. So, all right, I just wanted to cover that. All right, man. So there's lots of things to talk about here. Now, obviously, you know that my YouTube channel got shut down, but I'm not the only one, right? YouTube's going around shutting people down or giving out strikes. Everyone's doing it right now. Facebook is doing it, deleting pages. I got some news about Google restricting searches. There's a lot of communism going on right now, man. A lot of communist tactics being deployed against us. You were around when the Fire Armageddon went down, right? The last, what was that, like 2012?
Yeah, about 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it seems to me like we know, and they know we're going through the same thing. Last time around, the Tea Party guys pushed back. We pushed back. We between the two of us, we were able to get, in terms of Tea Party and gun folks or pro Second Amendment guys in social media, we were able to get people organized and push back against this. Do you see this as a way to stop that from happening again?
I mean, man, you're never going to stop the left, and you're never going to stop wishy-washy rhino Republicans either from doing what they do. I mean, their only existence, they only exist to extract money from you and to extract votes from you. So whatever, they're going to keep saying the rhetoric that they need to do. They're going to keep doing that because they need their simplistic minions to keep them in power, and that's really what this is. I mean, you're never. I just got done reading a book from 1875. Okay, about pistols in the defense of the home and also carrying them outside the home from 1875. Wow. We're talking 19th century.
Yeah,
I swear, in the introduction to that book, you could easily swear that the same debates that we're having right now, they said the same thing back then. People still wanted to ban guns back then because they say if we just get rid of the guns, crime will stop. People were saying that in 1875. Wow. Here we are, 150 years later, almost.
Mm-hmm. And we're being told, like I saw part of the press conference the president was having today with people in Congress, and we're being told that these are modern weapons of war.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
What do I think about the president?
No, well, what do you think about the fact that they're trying to say these are modern weapons of war? I mean, I don't like when I hear that. It's so crazy and asinine to me. These are not. Technology of the gun has not changed that much, right? Over the last 150 years, like you're saying, yes, there's some things that have moved forward. But for example, AR-15 did not start out on the battlefield.
No, they never do. Like, then that's what people don't understand is that all of the firearms used by the military start in the commercial market first. Weapons of war. And since we're discussing that, let's talk about what the Second Amendment actually says. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I did that all without a cue card. I'm just looking at my computer right now at your smiling face.
Right.
We see all that. What is the militia? I mean, what are our founders' thoughts of the militia? The founders' thoughts of the militia was that they were the ultimate check on a tyrannical government. Read James Madison's, read 45th and 46th Federalist, read Alexander Hamilton's 29th and 30th Federalist, read Richard Henry Lee's thoughts, read George Mason's thoughts. These, of course, firearms are supposed to be so-called weapons of war. There's no weapon that's been designed that's been used by the military. It didn't start in the civilian market first. Auto ordnance, the Thompsons started in civilian hands, and it was used extensively in World War II. It was actually produced too late for World War I, but I mean, all these firearms that the military uses are the result of civilian innovation. So to say that they're exclusively, only for government, that's very disingenuous, and it really subverts the entire meaning of the Second Amendment. All they need to do is read the Federalist Papers. I mean, these people are so stupid, absolutely ignorant and stupid, that they can't even read historical documents and make correlations to the present. It amazes me that people say, well, the Second Amendment, you should hunt and sport. The Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting and sportsman shooting. It's about fighting against tyrannical government and self-defense. And if anybody doubts that, why don't they read the very words of the men who wrote those laws and wrote those amendments and wrote the Constitution themselves? You'd think that would matter a lot more than some stupid liberal judge.
Yeah. And it's not that we're against hunting and sport.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's just the hunting and the sport is a spinoff of the Second Amendment. That the primary point of the Second Amendment is to protect yourself against tyrannical government. In fact, even Alexander Hamilton, the most left of the founding fathers, even Alexander Hamilton himself said that the militia was a check in direct opposition to a tyrannical government or a standing army, if should they choose to implement the will of a tyrannical government. That's the words of Hamilton himself. You can fact check all this stuff. Just read Hamilton's 29th and 30th Federalist essay. I mean, I read this stuff extensively.
Yeah, but people now are watching the play Hamilton, man. They don't know about the real deal. Yeah, they don't understand the real shit. They understand the play and all the ways that it's been contrived.
Oh, geez, it's so frustrating, man. Like they're gonna have like mock outrage every time the shooting happens. They have to. It's part of the whole deal. But facts are not on their side. Facts are not on their side in any capacity. And you know, what blows my mind is just the simple analysis of historical documents reveals what the founders thought about individuals not only having access to firearms that were modern military firearms. Look up Miller versus the United States. I mean, Miller's whole conviction was based on the fact that a sawed-off shotgun was not suitable for military use. Like, that's how they got him convicted, was that the weapon wasn't suitable for military use. So, I mean, this is just insane, like how stupid people are and how ignorant they are. And I think it's on purpose, and I think it's willful ignorance is how I like to describe it.
Yeah, and I think, look, it's really weird that if you look at what's happening right now, the people who are pushing back against guns, the Second Amendment, these are people who are also saying that we have a tyrannical government, right? Yeah. Now, well, I'm not here to defend Trump or anything like that at all. I mean, I'm incredibly angry right now. When we turn to him, you guys will see that. But they're saying that he's a fascist, all these kind of things. And their response to that is always, you know what? We got to disarm the people. Well, if you're worried about the government, why do you want to disarm the people? Unless you're not really worried about the government, you're worried about the people.
Right? Well, to be a leftist, you have to adopt two diametrically opposed arguments on the same issue. For example, these are the same people that were screeching for the past 8 years about police brutality and police should be demilitarized, but now they're screeching that only the police should have firearms.
Yeah. Like batshit crazy. I mean, like, how is that possible?
To be a leftist, you have to adopt two diametrically opposed positions on any given stance. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh, it's for saving the children. Oh, but we believe that you should have abortion.
Yeah.
You don't. It just goes on and on and on. How stupid and critical.
You say that you want people to be free. Yeah. But then you don't want people to be free.
Right. You say you want to have people be free, but you want a heavy-handed bureaucracy who has a monopoly on the use of force.
Yeah. Yeah. You say everyone should be able to be who they are. You could be gay, you could be transgender. Right. I don't care about all that. It's all good. But guess what? I cannot support guns. I cannot support the Second Amendment. Yeah. Something's wrong with me because I all of a sudden can't be who I want to be. Sure. You know, you can't even be a man. Forget about guns and all of that kind of stuff. Put it aside for a second. You're not allowed to be a man.
Right. We're all for women's rights, but we believe that men have the right to go into a women's division and absolutely annihilate them.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Not according to the way that they see it. It's so crazy, man. And I think that it is really weird. Like you said, it's tough for me to see that these kids, that the same kids that were saying the police are killing them are saying that the police should protect them.
Yeah, they want the police to be the only ones that have guns. But the problem is that, and I'm not anti-law enforcement, I'm former law enforcement. Every member of my cadre is current or retired law enforcement. So we are not anti-law enforcement, but we understand that law enforcement isn't the answer. You see these people, there are 4 deputies that failed to go in on that Parkland, Florida shooting. I mean, that's atrocious. How do you call yourself? I mean, they ought to look at that shield that they wear right there. That shield goes back to medieval times. That you're there to protect others, protect the people that are unable or unwilling to protect themselves, and then they are just sitting there while people are getting shot. That's indefensible, and quite honestly, that's a very definition of cowardly behavior. But you know what? You're never going to convince anybody that doesn't believe in freedom. And so I'm not trying to convince anybody that doesn't believe in freedom anymore. I'm done talking with gun owners that say I support the Second Amendment, but that's the end of the discussion. Once you say but, that's the end of the discussion for me. You either believe in the Second Amendment or you do not. You either believe in the principles of freedom as espoused by our founding fathers or you do not. It is an absolute position, because what happens when we attempt to go to the compromising discussion table on gun control? I can walk you through since 1934 the amount of rights that gun owners have ceded to the federal government, and we don't get anything out of it. A compromise means that each party gets something out of it. So let me ask you this: since 1934, what have gun owners got from going to the compromise or the discussion?
No, we've only lost. We've only lost. I mean, that's the argument that we're getting right now with Trump. When we like, and you and I discussed this off air, where like every time that we get this kind of these kind of gun grabbing laws that come into effect, it comes in effect under Republicans, and Trump is doing that same exact thing. And you know, they don't care. You know, did you see that Trump was saying? I think you told me that he doesn't give a crap about due process. He's just going to take these things.
Take the guns first, due process second. He just said that. That's on the Hill.com. What people don't understand?
No, I saw him talking about it.
He is a New York liberal, and always has been. And the sad thing is that people once again lack so much critical thinking. They lack so much critical analysis on this guy, that the people that buy into all his stuff, no matter what, are no better than the people that drank the Kool-Aid with Barack Obama. It's just you trade one paradigm for the other. But here's the weird thing is, and you know me, man, I'm most certainly not a Barack Obama supporter or a supporter of Democrats at all. The thing is that like under Barack Obama, there wasn't any gun control passed. And now we have a Republican president with a Republican House, with a Republican Senate, with a conservative Supreme Court, 5-4 generally. We have a guy proactively advocating for gun control. This is unacceptable. The man, I've really had my doubts about him a long time, but this is inexcusable. And I really truly hope that he doesn't run in 2020, because I most certainly will not vote for him. I think he is an absolute piece of New York filth.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. I think this is the point I was trying to make, and I got lost a little bit, so forgive me there. You know, the reason people are saying to me here, you know, and I hear people that are conservative and they say they're pro-gun, Republicans or whatever, and they're like, listen, Trump has to give these guys something, right?
No,
that's what we were saying. They say we got to give them something. We got to do something with them, otherwise, you know, we're just, you know, we're just being belligerent and we're not doing anything about it. No. We've given a lot already. We don't have to give them anything. And I was listening to him today, and something that we gave them is what he used. So I'll tell you what I'm talking about. He said, if you have to be 21 before you buy a handgun, it's then no big deal to now make it you have to be 21 before you get a rifle. So in other words, at some point in our history, we gave that up, right? At 18, at 17, 18 years old, you're a grown-ass man. In my opinion, 16 years old, you're a grown-ass man. And we gave up that you had to wait until you were 21 years old to defend yourself, okay? And now Trump, who's supposed to be a Republican and pro-Second Amendment and endorsed by the NRA, says, you know what? If you could do that, then you could do this too. Well, that's the logic.
What's funny about that is that what he doesn't understand is that there were people much younger than the age of 21 who fought in the American Revolution and helped establish his office as president of the United States, and who fought for the freedoms against the British at a much younger age than 21. In addition, this is personally insulting to me because as a 17-year-old, I was an active duty United States Marine carrying an M16A2 service rifle to defend his draft deferring ass because he did not go into the military. He never served in the military. So while he says people that are 21 shouldn't own an AR-15, I was 17 with an M16 in uniform defending his sorry fat ass while he was up there in New York. So I'm tired of his stupid excuses, and I'm tired of his idiotic mouth about things of which he has little to no working knowledge. I think he needs to, and pardon my language, you know I very rarely cuss.
Oh, man, please.
Shut the fuck up about guns, because he knows nothing about it. He grew up in New York. He doesn't know anything about firearms. He doesn't know anything about self-defense. He says I would have engaged the shooter in Parkland shooting. He's never even fired a gun. Like, I doubt that guy's ever even fired a gun. And if he did, he would piss and crap his pants if someone was shooting at his way. I don't want to hear him anymore. I'm sorry that I voted for him. I'm sorry that I voted for him. I could not see Hillary Clinton being in office. I had no other choice. It's like, do you want to get kicked in the left nut or do you want to get kicked in the right nut? Yeah. You know.
But listen, if we're truly gonna have liberals and Democrats in these offices, if they're gonna run America, why should we pretend that they're Republicans? Why should we pretend they're conservatives? Why should we pretend that they're pro Second Amendment people? Why should we pretend they believe in the Constitution? Let's just stop the bullshit. Let's stop pretending.
Say what you are. Say that you're a New York libtard, and then run as an independent or run as a Democrat. Like, he may as well do that. Like, the only thing he differs with on the Democrats is probably economics. But that doesn't matter. I mean, okay, great. So, thank you for letting me keep my money, President Trump. Thank you for only taking 25% of my income instead of 39%. Thank you, right? Like, I'm supposed to be grateful for that? Or like, anyone's supposed to be grateful for that? No, he's a big government New Yorker. And I know there's probably going to be some Trump supporters that are watching this. I'm done with Reid. He's dissing President Trump. Hey, wake up, dude. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Stop it. He's not a friend of freedom. He's not a friend of liberty. None of that stuff. How many people that were a part of the Make America Great campaign, how many of them are still in the White House? Answer yourself that question. And I think you'll find the answer real quick.
No, I've seen, I don't know about the people in chat right now because it's just you and I, and Lola's not here, but I can speak for some of the people in there. I think we're all on the same page here, man. You know, this whole thing, I hate to be like an I told you so kind of person, but we could take this orchestration. I think it was Shakespeare that said all the world's a stage and the people just players. You could take this back to what happened in Las Vegas, right? Trump came out and said, like, he just cracked the door open. We're going to do something about this. Then the NRA came out and said, yeah, let's offer up the gun stocks.
Like, with no pressure, with no political pressure. None.
Right, exactly. And so now here we are, right? And now he's like, yeah, I'm going to ban, even if Congress doesn't do something about it, I'm just going to write an executive order. I don't give a crap about due process or whatever. That's what he's saying, right? And then the NRA is like, oh, we don't agree with that. We're pushing back. And he goes, yeah, well, you know, I'm going to do this even if the NRA doesn't like it. I call bullshit on all of that.
Well, he'd have no problem sending 18 and 19-year-olds with M16s over to go fight a war in North Korea, would he? He'd have no problems deploying hundreds of thousands of people under the age of 21 to go fight a war for him so that he could have his dick measuring contest with the communist dictator over there. He'd have no problem doing that. He would send better men than him to enact violence on the behalf of others because he was too cowardly to join the military when it actually counted. And so I don't listen to anything he says about guns anymore. In fact, he's dead to me, and I don't mean that in a threatening way. I mean that as politically, I will never vote for the guy. I think he is absolutely tarnished goods, and this is what you get when you vote for people that don't have principles. This is what you get when you have a choice between a guy like Rand Paul and Donald Trump. And people, you know, say Rand Paul's out there. He's not out there calling for gun control. He's not out there calling for taxation. He's not out there calling for wars to invade an Asian country of which we've already been involved with no result whatsoever. Yeah. So I don't.
How do we get lost, man? How do we get away? Like, one of the things that I really like about you, you know, is the fact that you're a nerd. I don't know. I think I've told you that before. You know, I don't know how often you get called a nerd. It's not a bad word, in my opinion. You know, it's a compliment. That's what I like about you, man. You're an incredibly intelligent person. You teach me things. You know, you're able to expand my mind and others around you. How in the name of all is holy did we get into this situation that's like, you know, Idiocracy, the movie Idiocracy? I don't know if you've ever seen that, but
yeah, I have.
We are living that shit out over and over and over again in America. It's always who's cool. Who's the coolest person? You know, who's the latest? I mean, we're going to pretty much get all the fucking Kardashians in the White House here coming up, man.
Well, it's comfort, man. You know, you look at the rest of the world, you know, a lot of places in the world, the default condition of humanity is not comfort and security. You know, the default condition of humanity is slavery, servitude, and subjugation and misery. People don't understand that. They don't understand that this this comfort thing is a recent phenomenon, and that our ancestors, our founding fathers, the people that fought the revolution in this country, the people that have sought asylum in this country to enjoy those freedom, they valued it. The people that come from all these other countries, you know, I mean, think about your family, man. I mean, you came from a country that it has a veneer of freedom, but underneath it, it's very insidious socialism, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, Guyana, right? Down to, I mean, originally from Guyana.
Yeah, exactly. I'm originally from Guyana, and it's all bullshit. There, you cannot have guns there. Okay, if they think you have a gun, they can go into your home. Guyana is pretty much at this point run by the Colombian cartels and China.
The Chi-Coms, man.
Yeah.
And you think about, like, you ask, how do we get to this point? Number one, comfort, because you get lulled into a malaise. You know, you get lulled into this malaise of, it's never going to happen here. It's always going to be okay. Oh, that could never happen in a Western, you know, representative republic. You know, but the problem is, with all that, is that when I look at people and I hear people say some things, sometimes it's just flat out ignorance. And I do mean that in the most offensive way possible. If you are willfully ignorant and you choose not to learn, or you choose the path of, oh, everything's going to be okay, this is how bad stuff happens throughout history. This is how horrible things happen throughout history. I mean, yeah, I think, man, Germany, and I'm not comparing the United States to Germany. I mean, the Democrats do that. But, I mean, you got to think about something, how fast things happens in a country. You know, in 1933, you know, in Germany was one of the most amazing countries in the world. I mean, they had the best universities. They had the highly literate population. They had great infrastructure. They had a lot of nice things. And within 9 years, they were killing their own citizens.
Yeah, I think we must not be teaching history in schools, man. You know, one of the first things they did was said, you know what, all our problems are because of the wealthy. Let's take their shit. Then the next thing they did, they disarmed everyone. And then they're like, you know what, their money is not enough. Now we're going to take their lives.
And that continues to this day, Hank. And like, people think that, oh, that was 70, 80 years ago, that would never happen again. I mean, I don't know if people realize this or not, but there's a vote today in South Africa. I mean, you're supposedly talking an advanced country, right? I mean, a 21st century country.
Right. That forgave everything that happened. South Africa went through a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. Came to a point where they said, we're going to forgive everyone that did everything on both sides.
We're a rainbow country. Everything's fine now. We're a multicultural society. But you know what their parliament just voted on today and passed? Their parliament today just passed, and this is South Africa, 21st century country, today, hours ago, the parliament just voted for the acquisition by force of all white people's property. Like, this is the end game of identity politics, and people that don't think it can happen here, and this has nothing to do with racial stuff. I'm using this as identity politics.
Yeah, I'm looking it up for people who don't believe it. South Africa explores constitutional change to allow land seizures.
Yeah, and give them the site. I mean, it's all this information's out there. This is what can happen in the United States. And I'm not saying it's going to be along racial lines, but it will most certainly be along ideological lines. You say one thing and, oh my God, it's an offense to the state. Yeah.
You're going to have a dictator, you know, you're going to have a dictator walking around going, yeah, we want this, we want that. I know that's what happened in Guyana. That's why my parents don't live there anymore. That's why they left. That's why they gave up, you know, what they had there. I mean, I always try to tell people, this sounds crazy, but when I was a little kid, my dad played chess with the Prime Minister of Guyana. He played chess with him.
And then he had to flee.
Yes, and he had to leave. He would have easily, he was he was in charge of building up the infrastructure of Guyana, my father. You know, what was that?
He's considered dangerous at the end, right?
Yeah, you know, so, and he left because of all of this. He gave up the life that he could have lived there. He could have one day become, you know, the prime minister, maybe. I think that he gave it up because he knew that was bullshit. You know, I think he gave it up because he didn't want us to grow up there. He knew what we would lose from growing up there. And here we are in America. It always like makes me mad that people leave the countries that they come from. They come to America because the countries are fucked up. And then they come here to America and then they try to make America into that fucked up place that they came from.
You know, it's usually their kids. The people that actually came here and fled that are some of the best patriots that there are. I mean, think about people like your father. You know, think about all the people that have come here from places like Vietnam and Cuba and East Germany. Those people that directly had to flee to Cambodia, the people that had to flee and come over here, those are the people that espouse the American Constitution more than most people born here. It's their kids because of the comfort, because they have the luxury of ideas. And that's something that I don't cover very often in my videos. I mean, I talk about the luxury of ideas. When you're sitting in a position of luxury, you have that luxury of coming up with theoretical concepts. So you hear people say, "Oh, communism doesn't work because it's never been given a chance," and "Oh, you know, socialism works in many other countries." Well, when you talk to the people in those countries, it's not working so well.
Yeah,
and it's just this weird thing.
You have an illusion that that's forever, which nothing is.
It's not. You know, freedom is a very fragile thing. Freedom is such a fragile thing. And I look at it and I tell people this all the time. And this is like not even, I mean, of course, this is including guns. But I tell people this, like, I am done entertaining ideas that violate the United States Constitution. In Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, there are 18 specific powers that the federal government of the United States has. And if they are outside of those 18 areas, it is an unconstitutional power. And people need to understand that. The Constitution is not there to embolden or empower government. The Constitution was made to limit the government. If you would like to read extensively on this, like I have, so I don't have to keep repeating myself over and over again, you can read Robert Yates' notes on the Constitutional Convention. You can read the Federalist essays. You can read the Anti-Federalist essays. And you can read the journals of the founders themselves in which they explain and elaborate on the ideas. So I'm tired of listening to people that advocate for ideas that violate the Constitution. And the context that we're talking about now, when everybody is upset, the context is the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights, which was amended to the Constitution in 1791 and adopted by the states. And that Second Amendment is very clear. If you don't believe me, read the Militia Act of 1792. All the concepts are elaborated on there. Has nothing to do with anything. Has nothing to do with the National Guard. Has nothing to do with the military. The militia is in direct opposition to the standing army. I'm done talking about stuff like that. If people don't understand that and they can't comprehend that, we can't have a discussion or a dialogue, because like, I'm not going to talk to people that are wholly ignorant on the topic. All you need to do is read these for yourself. It's very simple. I know that you're going to like take time off from reading TMZ and, you're going to take time out from Sports Center and all that. But once again, we're not talking. I'm not worried about my life. Okay. I'm probably over halfway done with my life. So I'm not worried about mine. I'm worried about what this country is going to look like in another 30 years. I'm worried what this country is going to look like in another 5 years. And it's rapidly reaching the point of a banana republic. It's rapidly reaching a point where we have a leader, a president, who is literally has such a cult of personality amongst his followers that it's a very dangerous time. Because when Barack Obama was president, people that own guns, they all rallied against him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when this president is saying things like, take the guns first, due process second, can you imagine if Barack Obama would have said that? And you know what my thoughts are on Barack Obama.
Right, absolutely. But you see, we could be united in lots of ways. We could be united against him. We could be united against a party. But when you take someone like Trump and put him in the clothing of a conservative, of a Republican, of a pro-gun person, then we all fall apart. And then those of us who don't support, for example, what the NRA is doing, we're the enemy. We're the bad guys. Right? There's something wrong with us because we can see what they're doing. All of this is orchestrated by them, including the fake Trump going, yes, I'm against the NRA. I'm going to do this thing. And I guarantee you next time around, the NRA is going to support him.
Well, of course they will. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. I mean, you look at guys. I mean, could you imagine, Hank? Somebody asked me, I think it was last time on your show, they said, "Oh, Reid, you should run for office." Do you know what Washington, D.C. does to people? Do you know how corrupt and vile and immoral and what a cesspool of morality that place is? I mean, that's got to be a stronghold for every evil spirit in the world to be there. I mean, I couldn't last 1 hour in there without losing something major in my spirituality, right? That place is horrible. So these people that the NRA, that's where their headquarters is. They're in that environment. Their big, their big thing is, oh, let's we want to be able to go to the cocktail parties and be in the good graces of things. And I thought that they would hold the line. I really thought they would hold the line after the Vegas thing, but that was proven, as we talked about earlier, that was proven not to be the case with, Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox. They didn't hold the line. In fact, they offered gun control for the left on a silver platter. That's unsat. Absolutely unsat.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, there's so much there that we could talk about. I know we have a limited amount of time here. Yeah. Let me check and see if there's some things that some people want to talk about here. Sure. I can see lots of people agreeing with us. I think one of the things, though, and I think I said this the last time when we mentioned you running for office. If the good people don't run for office, we keep getting these, we basically have the same party. And what happens is they are, I thought in America, we were getting away from a kingdom, right? I thought we were getting away from these people ruling us. In most places in the world, they try to get away from that. But in America, we keep trying to run back to that. And that's the thing that I'm afraid of in a situation like that. Someone's got to do this. And I know that it's a horrible thing. And I know it can corrupt. But someone has to do this. And maybe the only solution that we have is that people go in and they do this and they get the hell out.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that, we're at a very dangerous part in our country's history. We're at a very dangerous part. We're at a part where you literally, and I don't see how this country can reconcile with itself. I mean, you've got so many people in this country that want to take rights and property away from others. You've got other people that believe they're on the side of morality because, we should take from those that have and give to those that have not. And then you've got people that just don't even know what's going on or that just don't care. But here's the deal. Like, I don't know what they're thinking about, but if they don't know what this country's history is, I mean, you're talking about a country that was born out of armed rebellion. Right? The United States was born out of armed rebellion against a government that wanted to tax the colonists out of existence, and with a government that wanted to confiscate all weapons and small arms, as well as artillery that was privately owned. 75% of the revolution was fought with privately owned artillery. So when you look at those conditions, if I was going to plant a garden and I was going to plant certain things, I would say, if I have this soil, this plant is going to grow. When you look at history, you see these conditions happening. You're wondering to yourself, what is going to happen if they push gun control on a massive level? What's going to happen with that? Well, you've got three choices. You can decide to submit. That's an option. I'm sure a lot of people would. A lot of people would submit and be like, okay, I'll cave in and do what you want me to do. There's a lot of people that would do that. All the FUDs would give up their stuff. You know that. They don't want any conflict in their life. They just want to collect their Social Security check and retire in peace. You got another group of people like myself who doesn't want to live in a country where that stuff's going to go down. And then you've got other people that would willingly try to inflict the will of government on others. I mean, that's really what you've got. I hope it doesn't come to anything crazy. I don't hope it doesn't. I don't think that it will, maybe. But when you look at that and you look at what are people willing to do to protect their rights, and furthermore, what happens when government is the one that gets to start violating the rule of law, you get a situation like is what's happened in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. I think that more and more, I don't know what the future holds.
It's very good.
Yeah, I know there's lots of people that feel comfortable with that. And to go back for a second, to what we were talking about, I think in the past, and you're the historian here, right? I'm kind of new to the history, but I think in the past, even though our leaders and our founding fathers, some of them were highborn men, I think that they lived in the situations that had to be handled. And I think what we're missing today, like you said earlier, that there's things that need to be handled in America. And those people are, the people who are trying to make decisions for us are not living in the situations that they're trying to handle. And what I mean by that is if you have a problem with schools, then these guys need to live in schools and see what the hell is going on there instead of trying to say things from the outside of that. You shouldn't try to govern for people from a high palace on a hill somewhere. You should try to go down, to what's going on and actually live with the situation that you're trying to correct. And I think that's the biggest problem that we have.
It is. I mean, they're out of touch with reality. There's no question. And you know, when you have that kind of when you have that kind of a lack of reality check. I mean, do you think Nancy Pelosi's kids or grandkids went to public school?
No,
like,
no, man. No, for everything that Obama said, he did not send his children to, even though he said it on the campaign and all that kind of stuff, he sent them to private schools. I'm sure that's the same thing going on with the president. I'm sure that their children are incredibly well guarded with highly armed individuals around them that don't have bump stocks. They have full auto.
Oh, sure. Well, you know, one of my best friends in the world, you know, protects the president and his children. You know, and so it's understood. It's understood that they live a different life and that they have, you know, protection of arms. And that's when you start looking at this situation where people are like, wait a minute, if they've got all that protection, why can't we have all the protection that we need? And that's a good, why shouldn't we? Of course we should. You know, and that's why I do what I do. I teach people how to fight back in the event that they're attacked. I teach people to fight back against violent criminals. You know, I teach people to fight back and not be, you know, completely victimized, because I don't believe in a victim mentality. You know, I believe that, you know, it's a state of mind, you know, whether you're a victim or not. It's a state of mind. So when you think about like all this stuff going on and you think about the craziness and the anti-freedom message, I mean, every time you turn on the news, it's anti-freedom. How can we take more rights? 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 How can we dupe the stupid people that believe in the Second Amendment to give up more of the Second Amendment? Look, this is my pinky right here. If the debate is over my whole arm, I'm not giving you one fingernail, not one. I'm not giving you anything. The Second Amendment was recognized in the Bill of Rights after a very hard war. They aren't going to fight a hard war against Great Britain only to have the citizens give up the right to keep and bear arms. Like, how do they think that the revolution was fought? It wasn't fought with government firearms. It was fought by people that brought their own stuff. They didn't have. They didn't have,
and in some cases had better weapons than the other guys did, right?
Yeah,
not all.
Why don't you talk to some of the people that were in rifleman companies that built their own rifles and knew how to shoot them? You know, it's just crazy. But the thing that's just bothersome to me, Hank, is like, you know what the left is going to do. You know what they're going to do. They're always going to come hard for the Second Amendment. What bothers me is that you got gun owners out there, because it's President Trump, that will say, okay, well, we should just give this a little bit so that we get to keep everything. How are Democrats going to take your guns away from you? They're not in office. They're not in power in the House. They're not in power in the Senate. They're not in power at the president. So how are they going to do anything? Why would you give them anything?
Yeah, you know, I'm not giving back anything, man. I want the things that I was not able to enjoy because those things were given away before me. Okay, I want those things back. Okay, that's what I'm looking for here. I don't want to give up anything. I'm not giving up a damn thing. So, you know, now let me, you know, I know that we've got probably like 20 minutes. Let me just tell folks, we got a lot of folks in here. I'm going to encourage you guys to please click the thumbs ups. Okay, we need those. Give us as many thumbs ups as possible. We have like over 450 people right now in the chat. I don't know where our thumbs ups are at. Lola's just getting in now. She'll probably let me know. But please click those thumbs ups. We need those, and share this. Okay, so just to kind of switch off to something really quick. Did you see this CNN, the video from CNN that's out there where there was a reporter at CNN that went to shoot an AR-15 at a range with a general?
Oh, the one that kind of did the, you know, that guy?
Yeah.
The one without the Y chromosome? Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's amazing. Like, there's so much crazy and so much funny going on in that thing. The way that the CNN reporter was shooting, and then here's this general, which, you know, I wasn't in the military, but when I talk to my friends like you, the generals are not really the experts on AR-15s. No,
they're actually the farthest thing from it.
Well, obviously, because this general, he was shooting. I think he did about 5 rounds, and he said, "Yeah, I was just shooting normally, but if I wanted to go full semi-auto."
Yeah, the funny thing is that the M16A4 doesn't have full auto. It only has 3-round burst, as well as the M16A3, M16A2 as well. Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, there was a lot of crazy. There was a lot of crazy.
If they want a lesson on how to shoot an AR-15 accurately, I could bring Patriot Nurse and have her whoop their ass all over the range. So and she's just, you know, she's a small petite girl. So if they're not man enough to shoot a rifle properly because they have improper training and improper techniques, I could have Patriot Nurse bring her AR-15 out there and whoop their ass all day long in front of the whole nation.
Right. I'm pretty sure she could whoop my ass all day long.
99% of dudes' asses out there.
Yeah. You know, don't let anyone fool when he says she's all, you know, sweet and petite. Don't let that fool you.
She'll annihilate you and not even think twice about it.
Yeah, she could do that with words. If you could do that with words, you know, I don't want to see anything else beyond that, man.
Oh, yeah, man. It ain't no joke. Yeah. I watch her shoot every week, and I got to stay on my A game.
Yeah. So how did it feel for you? I'm trying to get your, you know, your opinion as a guy that was in the military. How did it feel to see all of that? Like, you know,
it's just great. But the military, when I was in, was different, right? We didn't have women in combat arms. They didn't have jobs for women in combat arms, and for very good reason. You know, and everyone right now is like, oh, hey, listen, look at reality, man. Look at reality. Like, an average man is stronger than the strongest woman. An average man. And that's just a simple fact. If you don't believe me, if you just don't agree with biology, then be mad at God. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people out there are, but you know, it's just not a big deal. I mean, I've got friends still in the military after 20 years, and just hearing them tell me just the degradation of the military in terms of standards and acceptable behavior and what they're allowed to do and what not to do. I mean, it's absolutely demoralizing. I'm glad I got out when I did, because if I was still in, man, I'd probably be put up all kinds of court martials for whatever. But I mean, the generals, they're not in. A lot of them are not in touch with reality. They're academy guys. They're told how smart that they are and how much superior that they are to everybody else. And you know, they're not the rank and file soldier.
So, what do you think is going on here, man? Why does the media? I mean, I'm not. This is kind of facetious because I know the answer. But why does the media turn to these people every single time? Why do they turn to these guys every single time?
Well, it's like the same way that they turn to the most ignorant, imbecilic person every time there's a natural disaster. They find the guy with 3 teeth in his face and the mullet haircut and the greasy tank top shirt, rather than the person who actually owns a business in that community. Because they know that they're going to toe the line, and they're very suggestible people. So I don't know if you've ever been on the news. I have. I've been on the news several times. They ask very leading questions, and you've got to be able to see right through it.
Right. No, I have not. I have not been on the news. It's probably not going to be fun when I wind up in the news. I know that they've approached me a couple times, but whenever they approach me, it doesn't go well, and then they wind up not wanting to put anything with me.
Well, let me give you an example of a question that they'll ask. When I was out, and I made national news on Fox, and Fox is much better than the other ones. It's not perfect, but it's much better than the other ones. And even then, there's a leading question. Why, do you feel that that you're a danger to American society? That was the question. Like, how is someone supposed to answer that? No, because I love America. And then you're looking defensive, and so you got to turn the tables on them. So if you've never been on the news, like, understand what kind of stuff they're trying to pull, and they have very leading questions. I couldn't imagine. I had some people from Al Jazeera come up to me and ask me a bunch of leading questions, and I pretty much made them cry. But you got to think that. I mean, the reason they pick people like that is because they're very suggestible. They love being in the spotlight. They love being on TV, and they'll pretty much go with the flow of the program.
Yeah, that's pretty much like that sheriff that we had here.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you even
transplant that guy?
Yeah. I don't know if you even want to go there.
The guy who wants to reform his religion without knowing anything about it. That guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about what's going on with all these companies like Dick's Sporting Goods coming out and saying they're not going to sell any kind of guns to anyone under 20? They're not waiting for the law. They don't care what the law is. They're going to make up their own laws, which is interesting because in Florida, their state laws supersede any laws that anyone else could make. And funny enough, I'm in Alachua County. I'm in Gainesville, which is Alachua County, and I got some news from them that the county, this is like a friggin' hippie town, in case you don't know, and they are trying to overturn all of that. They're using what happened in the news, and they want to overturn Florida state laws and start making up their own laws and banning whatever the hell they want to, And so you're getting that from the people who are in Gainesville. And you believe in freedom, you believe in the Second Amendment, you got to stop. Don't even let this bullshit take place. Okay. And then you also have stores that are just making up their own things, FedEx, etc. What do you think about that, man?
Well, I think that, like, you know, if what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, like, if you know, tell a bakery that they have to bake a cake for a certain lifestyle choice group, and then you refuse to do that as the business owner, and then you like get sued in court, and then you know, the government of that state like discriminates against you. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, how can you age discriminate against people? Isn't that against the Constitution?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to say a lifestyle choice is one thing, and then you're going to discriminate against age, is that not congruent?
Yeah.
So once again, but you as a leftist, you have to take a diametrically opposed point of view on any topic.
To everything.
Okay, it's okay for people to demand a cake, but it's not okay if, you know, someone wants to do something different, right?
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. That's you know, that's the crap that I think we have going on. Okay, someone's asking me to talk about HF 3022 in Minnesota. So you know, I don't know enough about what's going on in Minnesota, guys. So if someone has more information in that, you know what I mean? It's really tough for me to talk about something that I don't exactly know about. And in the last, I don't know, I'm going to say the last 48 hours or so, I've been focusing a lot on what's going on here in Florida specifically. What I will say is that if you're in Minnesota and there's anti-gun laws coming up, just like there's those coming up here in Florida, fight those back on the local level. That's what I would say about that. I would encourage people who are watching this that are in Minnesota, push back against this stuff. You know, don't let it happen. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I mean, there comes a point where civil disobedience has to be enacted. I mean, at what point are you gonna, in a nation of unjust laws, it's necessary to become an outlaw?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Otherwise, you just might as well give up right now and succumb to tyranny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the way that I think about that. And I'm not telling people to run out in the streets. We have recourse right now. We can push back. The most powerful thing that we have right now, and I was talking to folks about this, is that the Republicans, the conservatives, the pro-Second Amendment politicians that you've supported in the past, do not give them a pass to do this with that bullshit excuse of we have to do something. Tell them, nope. There's already laws there, enforce the laws that already exist. Find out why people in the schools, for example, here in Florida, didn't follow up on what the hell was going on. Find out why the sheriff's department never went and visited this guy or Baker acted him. See what's going on there. Deal with those things. Figure out why you have a sheriff's department that was ordered not to go in, not to let the paramedics go in. You know, find out about those things and deal with that. Find out what even the hell happened before you decide you're just going to put in laws. Otherwise, you're just signaling to me that all you want to do is take away guns. And we should not let people do this. We should push back against this, even if it means that ultimately we wind up like people think I'm afraid of Democrats running everything. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not afraid of that. I think we already have Democrats running everything. So why are we pretending, you know? I see Jordan's coming in, but I'm gonna let you say what you have to say, Reid. I know we've got like less than 10 minutes.
No, I don't know. People are, everybody that I know, and it just seems like the general mood is that of despondency, and rightfully so. I mean, when you've got a turncoat president the way that we've got, I mean, he's absolutely a turncoat president. He made campaign promises on his website, on the Make America Great website, said about the Second Amendment that we need to enforce the laws on the books that we have. Well, okay. Well, once again, he's lying, and that's not a good thing. My advice to people is this: if you value the Second Amendment and you value the freedoms that you have, start living like a free citizen rather than an unarmed subject. Live as a person that doesn't have to ask permission to do things, because that's what this is about. If you act like a free man, you'll live like a free man. And, you know, there comes a time when people don't understand. There comes a time when sometimes the loudest bully in the playground just needs to get hit in the face. And if we're looking at it like this right now, they may be the yapping little lapdog. That's what I think the left is a yapping little lapdog. I think they just need to get punted right across the room and leave the way that they are. There's not as many of them as there is us. That's the bottom line. There are not as many leftists in this country as there are people willing to stand up for freedom. It's just that simple.
Right. And let me ask you something, man. Are you afraid? Because like this is what people keep saying to me, you know, aren't you worried that Democrats are going to take over if you don't support these guys? Are you afraid of that? Are you worried about that?
We lived in an environment for 8 years where Democrats ran the show. How much gun control is enacted? And you know, I'm not a Democrat, man. You know, I'm the last thing in the world and the farthest thing in the world away from a Democrat. So, I mean, look, if you're going to live under that illusion that somehow this modern Republican Party is going to protect your rights, look at the president of the United States. He's the mouthpiece for the Republican Party, and look what he's doing. Yeah. So no, I'm not afraid of Democrats getting in. Because you know what? Oftentimes when Democrats are in, it galvanizes people to actually stand up and get off the rear end and do things. And I don't want Democrats to take over. But if the Republican Party is going to be what it is right now and act the way that it is right now, tell me how Democrats would be any worse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Okay, so quickly, I want to introduce you to a few people that have joined here. First, I'm going to start with Jordan right here. This is Jordan. He's from GOA.
Hey,
Jordan.
Thanks for having me on. Hey, Reid, how are you?
And next, I'm going to introduce you to James. James is here locally in Florida, and he's one of the people organizing what we call the Rally and Tally, which is happening on Sunday. We're going to the State House in Tallahassee, and we're fighting back against the Second Amendment. James, what's up?
What's going on, guys? Am I coming in? Okay?
I think you're muted. Hold on a second. I think you're muted. You're either muted yourself or something. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I think you're turned all the way down. Okay, what about now?
Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead and talk. No, still can't hear you. All right, you got to get your microphone somehow worked out. You might have to drop out and come back in. Just try that. Okay, so there you go. The technical problems, Reid.
It's okay. I understand. I was going to say, Gun Owners America, great organization. Appreciate what you guys do. I'm glad of your non-compromising stance, man. I wish more organizations held the beliefs that you did, and I know that I try to steer as many people as possible in your direction.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate that, and you can trust us to hold the line and never compromise on the Second Amendment. So thank you. We really appreciate that.
Oh, God bless, man, and stay with the fight. Stay doing what you're doing. And Hank, I appreciate you having me on. I'm gonna run out, and
yeah, man.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Absolutely, brother. And as always, man, I really appreciate your friendship as well as Rachel's. You know, love you guys. Thanks for all the support. Okay.
Hey, man, keep staying in the fight. The left is not going to win this. They do not have the arguments on their side.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So there we go. All right, man. So what's going on, Jordan? Thanks for joining. We're waiting for James to come back in, of course. I want to tell everyone that's staying with us. Reid had to go. He's got some stuff going on, but please stay with us here where Jordan's going to update you on what's going on for folks here in Florida. We're going to have the Rally and Tally. We're going to talk about that, as well as I know, like I was mentioning in Minnesota, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So if the person who put that comment up in the chat, if you've got some details that you want me to announce here, let me know, or put a link or something like that in the chat. Somehow get in touch with me and let me know. If we don't cover it today, we'll cover it tomorrow. But I definitely encourage people in Minnesota to pay attention to what the hell's going on. Jordan, do you know anything about what's happening in Minnesota?
I didn't get to catch what that was. So sadly, I don't off the top of my head.
Right. Let me see. I'll try to pull it up for you here so that I think it's HF 3022, Minnesota gun law.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
I don't know if you have a chance to look that up, and if anyone gets a chance. So James, you're back.
Can you guys hear me now?
Absolutely. We can hear you.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Sorry about that, folks.
No, that's cool. Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate you coming on. So do you want to just tell the folks real quick about the Rally and Tally, and then we'll go back to Jordan?
No problem, guys. So what we formed here is because we saw that there was a lack of a call for action. So we put this together for us to go up to Tallahassee in the capital, march and rally upon it, to show the state and its governor and its people what the Second Amendment means to us, and that we will not stand for any unconstitutional law or rule. And that's what this is, because these bills are being passed with such a quickness and ill efficiency. It's being run with logic and fear. I'm sorry, not logic and fear, fear and emotion. So with that, we have to be the citizens of the state of Florida that we are, and telling the elected representatives we have that they're employed by us, and we're not going to stand for it.
Absolutely, man. So thanks for doing that. We're going to get deeper into it. We're going to explore what's going on here and talk about all the details of it. Jordan, give us an update on what's going on right now with the state of the Second Amendment.
Well, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Dick's Sporting Goods? Do you want to start with Congress? I mean, a lot came out today, and there's a lot we can choose from. So
yeah, I want to start with the fact that now I can see you so much clearly.
Well, thank you. And I want to give a big shout out to my friend Nick. He came up. We have a completely new camera system and lighting system. And if you can see my mic here, it's a whole lot better. And hopefully it'll make us look even more better when we're on Fox News and CNN and all those different setups. So thank you, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you're doing that. And, I think that it's an absolute necessary tool in this fight that we're making for us to use social media and use all these things that are available. This is the reason why people are attacking us on a daily basis. I mean, I could tell you guys, we're getting that kind of heat right now, not just on YouTube, on Facebook, we're getting attacked and things deleted and all that kind of stuff. That's all been happening today. I haven't really had the time to share it with anyone because there's so much going on. So was there something you wanted to say here, James?
Oh, no, man, you're completely correct. Social media caused us to make a call for action. I'm just a regular guy. My buddy Matt Johnson's just a regular guy. My buddy Tom Jackson is just a regular guy. And through social media, we've been able to get a call to arms to the state capitol.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome, and I appreciate you doing it. And one of the things that I was happy to take part in here is to bring the two parties, the GOA and the folks organizing the rally and tally together. And I know you guys communicated earlier today, right?
Yeah, we did, and thanks for connecting us, Hank. When I heard about the rally and tally and watching your previous live streams, and I knew I was interested right away, and I wanted to check it out for myself. And I reached out to Mr. James, and if you were on GOA's Facebook page and you live in Florida, then you should have saw that we actually shared the event. Shared it out, so encouraging people to go to that. And tomorrow we should have an alert out going to our people in Florida with an action telling them to oppose all of the gun control that Florida is considering and to turn out to the event. So that's in the works. If you live in Florida, I'll be looking on the lookout for that email alert. So yeah, we think this is anytime we can peaceably and responsibly, show support for the Second Amendment. I think that's a great thing. So we're definitely sharing that event. And James, thank you and everyone who's organizing that. That's great. That's great stuff, and we need that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, James. We got the same thing to say to you guys at Guns. Us getting linked up with you was a huge win today. I mean, the morale that we've seen across everybody attending. In the little chat we have with the org, it just shot through the roof. It was a huge win because what you guys do in the gun community, really focusing on the issues that are going in front of either the federal government, which I normally see you guys do, and now coming down to the state level as well. You guys are really true defenders of the Second Amendment, and I applaud you all for what you do.
Well, thank you so much. That really means a lot to us. But I tell you, it's really why we have any type of power. It's all because of guys like James and Hank and people in this chat who call their representatives and call their senators and call Trump and call their state reps. That's why we have power. We just try to give you a voice on Capitol Hill because you can't do that yourself most of the time. We try to give you the tools and the pre-written letters so you can contact your representatives. We try to make it easy for you. And again, like I've said before, our job is to work ourselves out of a job. We want to repeal all these unconstitutional gun control laws. And right now, sadly, we're playing defense. But hopefully we can have a strong showing and snuff out all of this gun control.
Absolutely. And I just want to, because I know there were some questions about this, so I don't want to really focus on this too much, but I know there were some questions, so I think we should address it. Some people were saying before, where's the GOA and what's going on here in Florida? From the way I see it, you guys have a lot of things going on, and you really have to make sure, like you're saying, you don't want to talk about things that you don't know about, and you have to focus in on this stuff. So, do you have any answers to any of that kind of stuff, Jordan?
Well, right now, the federal legislation, we surely have our hands full on that, and we're trying to snuff it all out. And I don't want to get into this prematurely, but the chat with Trump today was not very encouraging. So we're fighting that full on, but you know, we're doing everything that we can. You know, we're working overtime. I know there's several other people still here in the office working on things to snuff out gun control everywhere. And, you know, we really appreciate guys like James taking the initiative to organize things like this. And we look forward working with other people in the future. You know, we work with state groups like a great group in Idaho. We work with them a lot, and other state groups across the country to fight and to protect the Second Amendment. So
right. And I'm going to go to Jordan and let him comment on this, but I just want to say really quickly before I forget, guys, if in yours, I guarantee you that in every state in America, including the ones that are already pretty much communist states like California, New York, etc., that there's more gun control stuff coming. So if you guys have that going on, yeah, I need you to do a couple things. One, I need you to support organizations like Gun Owners of America. You can do that. We have a link in here that you can go through. You can support them on a yearly basis. You can go in there, support them, a lifetime membership, etc. I think usually it's $20 a year. We've got a link here that's 15. We're not making any money from this. I just really think you have to support Gun Owners of America. They need to be able to, you know, they need these finances in order to fight what's going on. And then the other thing is you've got to do what James is doing. It's your responsibility to protect your freedom. It's not someone else's responsibility first. It's your responsibility first. You do something about this. You get up and fight back. And then if you need other people out there to help you, just put out the call. Someone's going to answer that call. And eventually, you know, things are going to happen where we're not trying to leave anyone behind on this. So James, I mean, you guys took up this call here. You know, what do you want to say about this particular thing that we're talking about right now?
Well, I've got a lot to say, but how do you follow Reid Henrichs? I mean, how do you follow that guy on your show?
He was on fire, I tell you what.
So yeah. The few things that I've got to say on this, guys, is pretty plain and simple. Actually, well, it's not too simple, but we have to start with the whole act of us working ourselves out of a job, and that is to get out and vote come your election seasons. That is not just to get out and vote. If you want to fix your area, go run for office. I'm dead serious. Mm-hmm. That's what this country was founded on. Yep. A general election, a general and fair election. We are now living in a country where, and it was brought up before, under President Barack Obama, there was no gun legislation passed. Mm-hmm. We are now in a conservative political group in this country that has taken power again. The Republicans are back in office, and now we're fighting gun legislation. This makes no sense to me. And it all comes back to this. We have a fight in this world, and it's between good and evil. It's not right and left. It's not commie versus American. It's good and evil. We know what is inherently right in this world. We know what is inherently evil. And AR-15 did not cause that tragedy in Parkland, Florida. Evil caused that to happen. It's plain and simple. To prevent those things from happening again, you cannot limit how good fights evil, plain and simple. Ignorance runs rampant on many things in this country, and it has now landed on the Second Amendment. So we have to get out. If you can't be there, drive somebody there. If you can't walk, crawl. If you got to push your grandmama down the street, do it. You got to get out there, because if you don't fight for their rights, they're going to be gone.
Babyface, listen, what James, I apologize, James, because James, you're saying something very serious and very poignant, but Babyface just came into the studio and he can't help but mess around.
Oh, that guy's awesome, man. I'm on the Hank Strange show. I mean, I've been freaking out all day.
You're doing a great job, by the way. I think you're really awesome, man. This is the reason why I'm giving you a voice. It's the reason why I'm doing this. I think people like you, people like Jordan, you guys need more access and a bigger voice out there. We need to amplify your voice, not shrink it. So I'm happy to do this. But in the meanwhile, Babyface has to show off his gun. So go ahead, show off your gun. America.
Ooh, look at that.
Second Amendment. This is your
That's
this is your python right here.
Python.
Put the python out. Oh, very nice. He recovered this from a fire.
Yeah, but jumping in, I do agree though. It's the rifle didn't do anything. It's an inanimate object. It's the will of whoever's behind it that makes it do.
If the guns are so evil and the guns are so destructive and they're such demons, we should all be dead and gone a long time ago. We should be dust already. But it's not the guns, it's not the inanimate objects. And so when you restrict those things, what else do you start to restrict? Do you restrict the cars? You know, do you restrict, what else is it? Like, you have to restrict everything in life that a human being could use. And yet we have all these things in life, and we have access to all these things. And most of us don't do this. What we have, like James was saying, is an evil person, an evil, broken person that took out his frustrations with the world on these children. And in that moment, what we all need is someone to stand up and fight back against that. Or people to do it. And at this point where we don't even know what the hell happened, I don't understand how we're in a situation where we're getting laws already.
It's ridiculous.
You know, absolutely.
I can speak to that. The reason why we're getting laws so fast, it's because, and you can go into, it was planned, it was this, it was that. The point that I have is this. The reason why you're getting laws so fast is because no matter what happens, the Democrats and leftists will wait and wait and wait for an excuse. And the moment that excuse rears its head, they're going to go ahead and start gun grabbing. It's plain and simple. We are dealing with an issue in today's world where the only way to fix the school shooting issue is to fix the American issue. Families are the American issue.
Amen.
That's exactly it.
Fathers aren't there anymore. Mothers are overworked. Families break up. They split up. Children aren't raised properly. I'm not telling anybody how to raise your kid, but you got to start doing it. Tablets and this and that doesn't raise your child. They need to feel loved. They need someone to speak to, and that's their parents. You need to discipline them in a manner and fashion that I don't mean even per se physical, but bring discipline into their lives, responsibility and respect. We deal with, and that's why you didn't see this 40 years ago, guys. That's why it's now. America in and of itself is so divided and broken, we will scream at each other over ideology and hate. We are back to Patriots versus Tories, and that's my opinion. And the only way to fix this is to A, heal the family, and B, vote the Tories out of office. It's plain and simple.
Hey man, I like this guy. This is, you know what? I mean, I've spoken to you a little bit before, but you know, this is like our first, what I would say, face-to-face interaction. I saw a video that you did for the rally in Tally, and actually the Big Daddy Guns guys pointed me to that video, by the way.
Oh wow. So,
you know, and I'm glad to have you on, man. I think that you're going to be on here a lot.
I'm here to be an American. I have a saying of mine personally. It's I thought I knew what a patriot was until I learned to be one. What that entails is that we must understand as American citizens our basic founding documents. I am not a Harvard graduate. I have no law degree. I just read. And to say something to Mr. Reid Henrichs, sir, I have followed you for a very long time, as I have Hank Strange. Hank Strange is the reason why I purchased a firearm, actually. Mr. Henrichs, I agree with you fully that education has to come back to this country. We have to stop ignorance, and we have to allow free-thinking men to become, once again, what they were. That's the only way that we are going to stop the rampant spread of ignorance and hate in this country is through education. It's not the sheer fact that the Democrats are taking our guns. It is not the sheer fact that evil has now triumphed over good in some ways. It's the fact that we have failed our country. We have allowed it to get this way. And it's the very fact. Just like if we allow these bills to go through and pass, it's not the Democrats' fault. It's the citizens' fault because we didn't allow our voice to be heard.
Yeah, and we don't need to fix this by passing laws. We need to fix this by being men and women and dealing with the problems that we have, dealing with the situations that we have in life. You know, that's the way I think to really go about this. Okay, so I'm not trying to switch over. One of the things I want to do right now is, Jordan, you alluded to some things that are going on today. Let's start with like Dick's Sporting Goods. Like, what the hell's going on? I thought Dick's Sporting Goods stopped selling guns a long time ago.
They did.
Yeah, I occasionally walk into a Dick's Sporting Goods, I guess, when I have nothing better to do, and I look on the wall and it's a bunch of FUD guns, like bolt actions and shotguns, nothing I'm really interested in. And they come out and say that we're going to stop selling AR-15s, which really the only AR-15s to my knowledge is in their Field and Stream stores. And it's just a big PR move to make people feel better about themselves, you know. We told Bloomberg reporter asked us about this today, and we said they'll probably lose a bunch of money, not only from the firearm sales, but from gun owners and guys like
they'll never get my money ever again. Yeah. But they haven't gotten it. They haven't gotten it from the last time they pulled this bullshit.
You know, I know Smith and Wesson at the turn of the century pulled some anti-gun shenanigans, and I know they were hurting financially. You know, so I know, understand they're back in new leadership now, but you know, every time they do this, they're going to hurt financially. But you know, GOA, we said we should support companies that cherish our rights, especially, you know, local gun shops. And the first one that comes to my mind is Copper Custom, obviously. And I know Big Daddy Guns and what y'all do. Support your local gun shop. If they're solid 2A guys, you know, that's who I would give your business to.
Yep. Amen. Absolutely. I totally agree with
wholeheartedly.
That. And so go ahead, James.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say Dick's Sporting Goods has never gotten an ounce of my money, and they never will now. I've always grown up buying at my local gun shop, even if it's a little extra here and there. But then again, you get good deals on everything else. We need to start supporting small business across the board, especially in the firearms industry, because we have to watch each other's back constantly.
Absolutely. And as far as I'm concerned, Dick's Sporting Goods can go suck themselves. You get that? You get that, George?
You want to explain it?
Yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods. What's the matter, Lola?
Okay.
What?
Watch the language.
Oh, okay. I'm getting in some trouble. Their name is Dick's Sporting Goods. They can go suck themselves. No,
she's in.
No.
She doesn't like it.
There's no way the YouTube people could give me trouble.
She doesn't like that joke.
That's their name. They got to blame it on themselves. All right. So okay. So that's them. Now we had Trump. What kind of? I think he was meeting with Congress today. So what was up there?
It was with senators and congressmen, and he continued to say some good things about arming teachers, which is good. But it's like everything else. It's like he didn't see a gun control proposal he didn't like. Almost. I mean, he shot down very few gun control proposals, and that was very sad. You know, very sad to see him so willing to wanting more background checks. You know, there's no more background checks that are going to stop this. Our current background check system isn't going to work. We should get rid of that, obviously. But adding more background checks or prior restraints, it's just not going to work.
No, I mean, what are you gonna background check your neighbor you've known your whole entire life? Are you going to background check your son when you gift him a gun? I mean, what the hell are we talking about?
More importantly, it comes down to the fact that criminals by nature are criminals. They don't give a crap about that.
Yeah. Right. You know, listen, I feel like I'm inside of Men in Black or something, you know, where there was the wife that said, you know, that's not Edgar, that's just something in an Edgar suit. I feel like Obama came and split open Trump's ass.
Took him over.
Yeah, pulled all the fat out and then climbed in there. I know I'm a big dude, but still, you know, and climbed in there and it was Obama inside of Trump. We haven't seen Obama. I think he's pretty much inside of Trump.
Yeah.
He's living inside of
Trump.
Well, what I want to know is kind of where the Republicans' backbone have went. You know, when Obama was president, they gave a lot of lip service to the Second Amendment, saying, "Yeah, we're going to oppose all of this gun control." And now, when Trump's president with an R beside his name, you know, oh yeah, we can work with this and try to get some of these, you know, ineffective. Comprehensive background checks. I'm saying this kind of sarcastically, but you know, now it's like they're willing to work with him just because there's an R beside his name. And gun control is still gun control. It doesn't matter if Republicans are in Congress or if in control or if Democrats are. It's all unconstitutional. It's all an infringement.
Absolutely. Did you want to say something here, James? Jump in.
There's a lot I want to say, but I can't say it on this show with Lola watching.
No, you can. I won't tell her. There's a time delay.
Yeah. So, guys, what we're dealing with here is, and again, I'm gonna lead back to it. It's the Tories. It's this two-party system's out the window. Republicans work with Democrats on a lot of liberal stuff. That's what they are. I call it for like I see it. If you vote liberal ideas and you vote liberal laws, I'm going to call you a liberal. I don't care if you've got an R, a D, a P, a G, a Y, whatever you got next to your name.
Yeah. Amen. Why are we still pretending, man?
No, it's
why
true.
are we, like, you know, people keep telling me, yeah, but you know, we got to do this. We got to make compromises. Otherwise they're going to take over. Who
are we compromising
They're not going
with?
to take over. They're already running shit.
Yeah.
If
The
you're
voters have
making,
to wake up.
if you're making these compromises, then this is a republic. This is a Democrat state. It's a liberal state. It's a progressive state that you're in. If you're making these compromises, if you're going to do that, then I would rather have their asses there so we can go back, like Reid said. You know, we can get our backbone back or whatever the hell it is that we need. I mean, what is it like? Really, America? Do you want? Should we get another black president or something? For
Get
people to get their shit together.
You need to run.
I mean, seriously, man, what the hell is going on?
Hank Strange 2020.
Well,
I can't run.
Can I brag on one Republican? Just very quickly,
please do.
Thomas Massey, who has been a solid gun rights guy through all of these tragedies, you know, refusing to compromise. You know, we've been touting his bill, HR 34, which would end the gun-free school zones. But just today, this is pretty much breaking news. He's introduced another bill, HR 5112, which would lower the age to buy a handgun federally.
Yes.
So, and GOA, we're supporting that bill, but that would, allow.
What's it lowering it to?
18. So,
like it should be.
Like it should be. Yeah.
It's almost as if you turn into an adult when you turn 18. It's the craziest concept.
It's crazy. I think it should be like 16, but okay.
You can vote, you can serve your country, but you can't carry or own a handgun, and that's just.
Yeah, I mean, let's list all the things that you can do at that age, but you
can go off and use the government's gun to either kill others or die for your country.
Right.
But you can't have it yourself.
Yeah, you could drive a car.
Yeah.
There's all these things you can do.
You can smoke. That's terrible for your health.
You can have abortions.
Smoke cigarettes
without your parents knowing about it. If you could be like 16.
I think that's way younger than 18.
This. I mean, seriously, like what the hell are we talking about here? Because a few people do something destructive, admittedly, to the society, everyone in the society should pay, except the people who are right on top trying to control the society.
Mm-hmm. It's the mob mentality. We've become a democracy instead of a republic.
Yeah,
it's plain and simple. Everybody used to have a voice. Now it's everybody's up here, going to control all their sheep right here to fight against everybody down here.
Yeah, I refuse to be that. I refuse to let that happen. I'm going to push back on that as much as possible. You're here in Florida. I don't know what county are you in?
Me, I'm in Brevard. I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
That's down Miami area?
No. Central Florida. Space Coast.
Melbourne.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
I'm in the Space Coast area.
Brevard County.
Right? Brevard, yeah. So, I mean, here in Alachua, they now want to overwrite, like Florida law says you cannot overwrite the state law.
No.
Locally.
Yes.
Right? So a city, a county cannot override.
No.
Well, in Alachua County, they're using this. You can read this, man. They're using this tragedy to override or try to override state laws, and there's people in Alachua County. You should push back against this. Not all of Alachua County is Gainesville or whatever. Don't let this crap happen. This is ridiculous. These guys want to just start making up their own laws, okay? And we cannot let that happen. We have to push back against it.
Mm-hmm.
So
very correct.
Pick up the phone and call the city council members or the county commissioners or whatever the term is. Call them. If they get 5 or so calls on that, especially at the lower level like that, that means a lot. To affect a congressman or a senator, you might need 50 or 100 calls. But, if you get 5 or a dozen calls to a local county commissioner, that means a lot. And that can get them to back down. Pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah, absolutely. Do that.
I will be doing that tomorrow.
This is your county, but I work here.
I will be doing that tomorrow.
Absolutely, we're gonna be doing it. We just found out about this before we came on air.
This is the first time I've seen this.
Yeah,
I literally just taught a class. So
yeah. So Babyface was just teaching the what were you teaching?
CCW class.
CCW class. Right here, and like I always tell people, we are at the epicenter of conservatives, Republicans, pro-Second Amendment people in Gainesville.
So they want preemption removed. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, they're trying something, and we're not going to let them get away with that.
Not.
So let me ask you this, Jordan, and James, you could jump in here anywhere. So you guys sometimes communicate with people in Trump's camp, right? So after what we heard today, because Trump was saying that he basically doesn't give a damn about due process. What do you guys think about that?
It's outrageous to say, we're going to take your guns away and then think about due process later. I mean, is he like what you said? Is he trying to be Obama? It's outrageous to me, and it kind of angers me. That we need to take guns away, forget about due process. Well, that's not only violating the Second Amendment, but the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. The list goes on and on. We have due process as a protection of our rights. And if you want to take away our rights, we have due process for a reason, and that's to preserve liberty. So it's quite angrily doing that. And these gun violence protection orders are so-called, we call them gun confiscation orders, because they have these ex parte hearings, and I don't know all the legalese to go behind it, but it's essentially where they can take away your guns or your right to buy a gun, and you're not even noticed about it. And it's just a way to remove your rights, no due process, and it's not going to stop these guys. The Adam Lanza shooter, he killed his first victim and stole her guns, and it's not going to work. Background checks, anything like this, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, go ahead, James.
No, and it's very correct. Politicians like to move in the dead of the night while the voters are asleep. Okay, it's plain and simple. The shepherd, and I'm using that loosely, okay, tends the field when the sheep are asleep. Okay, so the sheep don't know what's going on in the field. It's plain and simple. What we have here, guys, is I'll put it this way: we voted for Trump, or those of us that did.
I did. I mean, we could take a poll right now. Who voted for Trump?
I voted for Trump.
Me too.
I will say that I didn't vote in the primaries because I'm not a registered Republican.
Jordan, were you even old enough to vote, man?
I was old enough.
And are you going to tell us who you voted for?
I did not vote for Trump.
Oh, okay. Good on you, man. You did the right thing.
Well, good, because I sure as hell wasn't going to vote for Hillary.
Well, yeah.
I did not vote for Hillary either.
Yeah, those weren't the only options, and we've got to do something about that next time around. I'm going to let you get back to your point, James. Next week, we have to stop. We have to stop this craziness that's happening. That like only the cool people.
Yeah.
Only if you have a reality show can you become president.
Soon. How old do I have to be to run for president? 35? Something like that?
Yeah.
35. Soon.
Yeah. We'll all be gone by then. Okay. We can't sit around waiting for you to get old enough.
If I could kind of add on to James' point, generally when legislation moves quickly through Congress, that's a bad thing. The concealed carry reciprocity bill was introduced last January at the beginning of the new session of Congress. And it just sat, and it sat.
When Republicans and Democrats agree, that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
we lose.
I don't want that shit happening.
Yeah, but then you had.
and I'll tell you guys the truth, like a deeper truth. I'm registered in Florida as a Democrat. I don't vote for Democrats, okay? But I'm registered here. We have a stupid policy here in Florida that if you register as an independent, which Lola did, you can't even go in the primaries.
That's me.
So it's batshit crazy, and we've got to change that. But if we can't change that, we need to get independent candidates up here. We need to get people that really that we can believe in and we could depend on here, and that really believe in the Second Amendment, which to me is the most important thing that I vote for. I'm sorry, James. Go ahead.
No. To touch on that, just side note, I have a buddy who's a registered Democrat. And the only reason why is because so he can go vote against the person who's the lead.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. In the primaries, I voted for Bernie.
God.
Well, it was that's I wasn't voting for Hillary.
So basically, where we're at, guys, is now we have an elected official who is an employee of the American people stating that due process comes second. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. That's not how the Constitution works. That's not how our country
that
works.
today.
The commercial with the old ladies. That's not how any of this works.
And it comes back to this, guys. If you don't get active, if you don't go vote, and if you don't run for office, you're going to keep putting the same yahoos in there. And people, well, I'm not qualified. What qualifies you to run for the better good of your constituents? You're a voice of your people. You're just carrying that voice to the Congress.
Yeah.
You're voting the will of your people. Oh, well, I need this person to have a Harvard education so he understands this bill. I read bills all the freaking time. Okay. It doesn't take two. Do you go back to your people and say, hey, this is what we have going. This is what we not have going. What are we doing? I mean, I know I'm oversimplifying it, and then you bring it back and someone's going to say, oh, well, that's not how any of this works. That's, the point is, guys, is that you need to get out there and run. You have to get politically active in today's world. Okay. Because if you're just going to sit back on your couch and go, oh, they took my guns, I don't want to fucking hear it because you didn't go. Sorry, language. No. I don't want to hear it because you didn't come out.
Yeah. Listen, this is the thing, right? Where else do we have to run to? Not just here in Florida. Like we're on the penis of America, basically. You know, we don't really have anywhere to run to except to like jump into the friggin' ocean at this point, right? But lots of places in America, there's still some bastion of freedom. If you don't get your ass out there and actually defend it, then you really can't complain when it totally disappears. Just get on a boat and float off somewhere. Okay, if you're here in America and you want this freedom to remain and you are qualified to run for office and you truly believe in this, come on, people. At some point we can't, like, who the hell do we leave it on?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the idea of statesmen. And this is my personal opinion. I think a lot of our founding fathers wanted to have statesmen and not career politicians who you know, don't really care about the views of their constituents or the Constitution. You know, it's the whole idea of statesmanship and self-governance.
Yeah, this wasn't a thing you did for like healthcare for the rest of your life, and protection from police departments and the Secret Service for the rest of your life. This wasn't something you did for that. This was something that you did so the dream that was America would grow and get better. And I know it's had problems. I know it's been bumpy along the way. But I mean, come on, man. This is still the greatest country in the world, and it could be better than this.
Oh, very correct. This country used to be better than this. It's the plain truth. I know that this country has had its twisted and dark history along the road. Every country has. The difference is America is a freedom of light. Is a light of freedom. It's a beacon of liberty. It's up to us to keep that light lit. If we allow career politicians, if we allow corporate lobbying against the people's will, if we allow our president to come in and say due process comes second, and we do nothing about it, then due process comes second, plain and simple. We have to rise up. We have to restore the anger back in the people. And I'm not talking about rise up in the street, go walking down the street and start, openly carrying an AR and shooting up every liberal hellhole you find. Sorry, language again. The point is you have to rise up peacefully within the guidelines our founding fathers stated on that. Go read your Constitution. See what your government can and cannot do, and then call them the heck out on it. Plain and simple, folks.
Hell yeah. Absolutely, man. Okay, I'm going to encourage everyone watching real quick here. We're going to take a break in terms of encouraging the folks to actually thumbs ups. I think we're really close to 400 thumbs ups. Let's keep that going, people. Let's push the thumbs ups and see how many we can get here. We really appreciate it. We're having a really good conversation.
Oh, we're 2 away
out there. Yeah, we're like 2 thumbs ups away. So I know you might think this is really not important to everything that's going away. We're 1 away now. We're getting the countdown. We're at 399. But let's get out there, hit those thumbs up, share this if you can. Let folks know that we're doing this. I just want to also remind people that that the B channel is the place that you have to come to right now in order to see Hank Strange, because of what's going on with YouTube. We're fighting that. We still really don't have a lot of news on that. We're pushing back. Okay, we just
I refreshed. We're actually
we have 429,
439.
Wow. Yeah, I think we could do 450.
Yeah, I think
so. 450. So listen, absolutely, man. No, now here's the thing. There's something I noticed when all of this went down, guys. I was on YouTube. I think I had over 60,000, but all of a sudden everything was taken off on YouTube, actually, when I was looking at my stats. So, I had over 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. What YouTube did, shut me off, not only from my videos and the content that's going on there, but it shut me off from the people. I don't have a way to reach out to folks and go, hey, guys, this is what's going on. Right, I only have the other social medias that we have left. So we've set up a page called hankstrange.tv. So if you go to hankstrange.tv, you can actually enter your email address there, and that way I could keep you guys notified of everything that's going on here. We can let you know when there's updates. If we wind up moving off somewhere, when we have new things coming out, even we can notify you of giveaways and stuff like that. He's into the guns, and I don't know what's wrong with him.
This is like an A1.
Yeah.
This is like a World War II gun or something.
Yeah.
Property of the U.S. government. This is the good stuff. Right
absolutely. So, I just want to tell you guys, hankstrange.tv, go there right now. Everyone who's in this chat, open up another window. search hankstrange.tv or put into your browser hankstrange.tv, enter your email address. That's how I'll be able to keep up with you in the future. I'm encouraging everyone to do that. And the reason why I'm doing it is that so that no one can take away my voice ever again, and I'll be able to communicate with you people. I also want to encourage you at this time to go to the GOA and give money. Okay, we have a link in the description of this video. You can go there. Jordan, I think they can give whatever they want, right?
Yeah, the minimum membership is actually discounted for Hank subscribers is $15, but there's a few other options that go up, and I think there's a blank amount that you can enter in whatever information you want. So obviously, you certainly, we love to have new members. It's like you're joining our family. You know, I've said that before. You know, we need guys on the ground to call and take action and to support our efforts on the Hill, because we're representing you. You know, if you're a gun owner and you support the Second Amendment, even though you're not a member, we still represent your interests if you share our values. And, you know, and Hank, you know, I just wanted to, of course, thank you for that. But I want to sign up for your email list as soon as I get off this live stream. And I think I've texted you this before. But if GOA can help you in any way to get your channel back or to help you in whatever fashion, please reach out.
Absolutely, I will. I think we're getting to the point now where we probably need to threaten some kind of legal action or something like that. So, you know, I know there's more important fights going on out there right now, and I'm trying to fight this stuff like on all levels. So I appreciate anyone that's supporting us right now at this moment. We really, really do. And the other thing I want to encourage you guys, everyone watching, to do before I continue with this conversation, the rally and tally. If you're in Florida, you need to go on Facebook and you need to search hashtag rally and tally. Is that right, James?
Very correct. You search hashtag rally and tally. Go to events. It's going to pull up. You can't miss the post. It's got the Second Amendment, big nice AR-15 in the picture.
Amen.
I want to say something real quick. If you guys, and this pisses people off and I don't care, if you guys can afford to give money and shell it out to the NRA, you can sure as heck give it to the GOA.
Absolutely.
They're out there fighting. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone from supporting the NRA. I'm just doing it on a yearly basis so I can keep voting there. But, you know, I'm going to do everything I possibly can for the GOA, because these dudes are actually in the fight. They're not now in the fight. They're not in the future going to decide to get in the fight. They're not going to play all kinds of stupid games, 3D level chess and mahjong and all that kind of bullshit. You know, these guys have been in the fight and they're going to continue in the fight.
Yeah. At GOA, we fight gun control at every level. If we see an avenue to where we can stop gun control, we're using that and we're fighting that. And certainly right now at the federal level we have our hands full. But thank you guys for the kind words. It means a lot. I mean, it's a family. You know, that's the best way I can describe it. We're all in this together, and we try to give gun owners a voice in the halls of Congress and across the state legislatures. So, yeah,
go ahead, James. Oh, did you want to say
question?
Something?
Yeah, there's a quick question from the chat for James. Is there any way to find you on YouTube? Do you have a channel? You want to shout out your social media stuff?
Yeah, I'll go for it. So, I'm on
Please
Facebook.
Do, man. Please do.
Yeah,
follow this guy wherever he is, people.
Chat has asked 3 times and Hank keeps ignoring it.
So I don't have a YouTube channel, guys. I'm just a regular guy. I'm a father. I'm a gun advocate, and I'm an American patriot. I have Facebook. You can look me up, James Ledger. You can't miss this glorious beard and this striking face. So you just look me up on there. I try to go live every once in a while on Facebook, but if people are clamoring to hear what I got to say, I can do it more. You know, I'm no different than everybody else. But I wanted to talk about the rally real quick, please. So guys, what you can expect at the rally, and I'm going to be out there about this because I feel like it hasn't been covered enough. And please do not allow this to stop you from coming, because you don't need this to have a rally. So we don't have any permits for this. We couldn't acquire them. We couldn't belly up the money for the $1 million insurance. Okay. So this is being taken place on public property. Okay. At the same time, anybody coming out to this event, you will not open carry. Okay. It is illegal, and I hear the Tallahassee jail sucks. Okay. I'm all for open carry rallies, but this isn't the time and place for that, because we live in a world where the optics speak louder than your statement. So if you open carry, I will do my best to find a law enforcement official and have you bounce me out of there. Plain and simple. Secondly, I will not tolerate, and this is not my event, but I'm going to make sure that I watch everything. I will not tolerate anybody coming out there making a fool out of themselves. If there is opposition, fighting this no. We've notified the FDLE and the Tallahassee Police and the Capitol Police that we are going to be there and we're going to be doing this. Everything's fine and gravy, but be lawful, be peaceful. We're also going to be having a bit of a vigil for school shootings. Okay, we have wrote down every name of the last 200 school shooting victims. We're going to be passing them out on cards to everybody there. We're going to read the names. We're going to have a moment of silence. Because to a gun owner, life, especially gun owners, we need to understand and show that we understand how precious life is and how senseless violence does nothing but harm our Second Amendment right and families of this country.
Absolutely.
With that, yeah. As far as speakers go, Hank, I know, I know you aren't the kind of a speech guy, but if you want to say something, brother, go for it.
Absolutely. I'm not going to write speeches or anything, but usually the problem's getting me to shut up, right?
That's my issue. I'll be speaking. Andy from Florida Gun Supply will be speaking, and as well, anybody else that's there, if we have open time, please grab the forum. Okay, I'm a big proponent of the First Amendment. We're using the First Amendment to protect it because the First Amendment is being silenced. Okay, it is. Look at Hank's channel, guys. Look at all the other gun tubers. Look what happened. My opinion is this: if the opposition has learned from the last time, they learned from the Trump election, because what happened? Hank went out there, all these guys went out there on social media, everybody else that I couldn't even list, and pushed it. So now that they can limit that, they limit that voice. So they limit what shows up in the outcry for it. But with that, I digress again. So,
no, I agree with you, man. I agree with you, and I think that finish your point that you wanted to make, James.
When coming out to the rally, guys, this is not my rally. This is not Matt Johnson's rally. This is the state of Florida's rally. This is the Second Amendment's rally. The tragedy that took place that started all of this was in Parkland, Florida. We are the line in the sand, Florida. We are the line in the sand on the gun control. If we follow, the rest of the states will. The issue is now we've got and this is what I refer to it as, it is a gun restraining order bill that is now going through. It will be pushed through before the 4th. That's everybody wanted to put this off, and I was trying to say end of legislation, right? Regular season is the 9th of March. So we had to act as quickly as we could. And that's why we picked the date that we could. Because unlike opposition, we can't get bussed in. We have jobs, we have families. Yeah. So we had to pick a date.
We don't have that Bloomberg money.
No, or that Soros money, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all colluded. It's all colluded. And I want to remind people, like, if you've never been to Tallahassee, this is like a beautiful small place. You know, I know it's not super. It's a nice place, man. FSU is there.
I think Trump called it a shithole once. Was
Really?
he talking about Tallahassee or was he talking about other countries?
Oh, I don't know.
No, he was talking about
I'm saying because I hate Tallahassee.
Yeah, James said he was talking about the Seminoles.
Hey, go Gators, baby. Go Gators all day.
Yeah, but listen, this is our state capital. It belongs to us, and we need to be, I think we need to be respectful down there. We also need to bear in mind that FSU is down there. You've got a lot of kids. My son goes there. We might get some pushback from these kids. Don't get all crazy about that. We should show them how this should really be done, right? We are the responsible adults. So let's just bear that in mind when we're doing this.
I have a question for the GOA, but first, for anybody that hasn't been to Tallahassee, when you're heading up, if you don't know what the Capitol building is, wait, you'll see this giant phallic object with two little humps on either side cresting this hill. That's the Capitol building for Florida.
Yeah.
GOA question. We're getting something from the chat. Other than funds, is there any way else that anybody in the chat can help out with the GOA?
Yeah, I think Lola actually texted me that question.
Yeah, she came over and asked.
One, get your friends and family involved. Get them to be active and call and pick up the phone and call your reps and call them every day. We've been sending out email alerts every day this week to get calls and everything, and we're trying to snuff it out. They need to hear from you. So that's the easiest way you can do it. Right now, if you want to call the Capitol after this live stream or in the morning, the switchboard number is 202-224-3121. That's 224-3121. And simply, you know, they'll ask for who's your representative and switch it over, and they'll transfer you there. Tell them no gun control. You do not support any type of gun control whatsoever. If it's, you know, no bump stock ban, no, you know, gun violence prevention orders, you oppose that. NICS fix, you oppose that. And tell them if they're going to do something, they should repeal gun-free zones. HR 34, it's Thomas Massey's bill. That's what they should act on. And they should arm teachers and school personnel. That's what they should do, not restrict the rights of law-abiding Americans like everyone in this chat. You know, so that's the easiest thing to do. It doesn't cost you a dime, you know, it makes a lot of difference.
Right. And I think I've asked this question again. Oh, wait, someone wants to know what that number is again. 202 what?
202-224-3121.
3121. Okay. Yep. And I think this question has been asked before. So in you know, obviously GOA is in DC, right?
Springfield, Virginia, just outside DC.
Okay, just outside DC. So there's not people always asking, is there a Florida chapter? Is there a Minnesota chapter, etc.? What can people do? You know, if you've got someone like James that, you know, after this action that he's taking right now, which I think is commendable, if he wants to continue to do this, or other folks want to pick that up and continue to carry it, what can they do to work with you guys here? Can they set up like a chapter? What is it that they can do to continuously work with the GOA?
We happily work with state level organizations. Like I said, I have a great friend, Greg Pruitt, who actually, it's kind of like what James is doing. He saw the need for a state level gun rights group in Idaho. He formed up a state gun rights group, and now he lobbies the state legislature in Idaho. And he does fantastic work there. And he led the charge, and GOA helped him to pass constitutional carry in Idaho. You know, so I think he's a shining example of a citizen activist of what we can do. So yeah, but get in touch with us. We always like to work with, you know, special activists on the ground, and we can work with there. We're in contact with people all across the country. There's a lot of other great gun rights groups out there. We've been in Iowa, Georgia, Vermont, all across the country. But you know, like I say, if you're in California, Gun Owners of California is an official sister organization of Gun Owners of America, and they work full time trying to reclaim their rights in California. And it's difficult, but they do good work out there as well.
So someone can create that organization. Go ahead. I think James, you're going to ask a question there.
Well, it was more so along the lines of a lot of people, and this is just what I found out, and you guys want to start getting out there and doing this. You can always call and email your representatives, or you can show up at their office. You can also get a group of like-minded individuals and go to your city town hall meeting. Okay. Everybody, this is like when I go, everybody fills out a time slot for speaking on a topic. Pick your topic. 100 different things about gun control. That's perfectly fine. And then you go and you speak to them on the floor, face to face. The more people you bring, the better, because they are, again, elected officials, and they realize, because that's all they're in it for is votes when they're corrupt politicians, in my opinion. They're seeing their votes walk in that door, and they're seeing, for every changed mind non-voter, a politician will see 4 votes walk out the door for 1, because that guy's going to go and tell 2 people, who are going to tell 2 people, who are going to tell 2 people. So you get out, you get active, you call, you email, you talk to everybody through social media. You show up at their offices, at their town hall meetings, at Congress. You go there and you let them know a piece of your mind. It's not just, oh, I'm going to wait for somebody will come along and say it. That's what I was waiting for, and here I am. You know, it's all, you know, these bills are about to get passed. I'm going, wow, nobody's called for anything. And I said, well, we got to get it together, you know, and you can do that too, because if your state's coming under fire for any unconstitutionalism, you have to stand up and lead the charge against it.
Absolutely. And James, I see there's people out there that want to know how to get in touch with you. I don't really know if you truly want everyone blowing up your Facebook. So have you made that decision? What was the other social media that you had? Did you have Twitter?
Mm-mm.
No, you know, you need to like start a Twitter account.
It's addicting. It's crazy addicting.
Yeah. You need to do something. Guy. Yeah. So you're okay with everyone following you on Facebook?
Blow it up, guys. I don't mind.
Okay, so tell people how to do that.
So just look up James Ledger on Facebook, and you're gonna find me. I'm not worried about putting myself out there because.
How do you spell your last name?
Ledger.
Cool. I'll add you after this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. People go, oh, that's security risk, this and that. I'm like, guys, they come in my property, you're gonna have a fun time. I don't.
Let's get like 5, because with Facebook, with a personal page, you can only go to like 5,000. So let's get him to like 5,000 friends that are all gun guys, and then he's safe. He'll
Surrounded
look
by
out for those hot chicks that are trying to add you though.
Hey,
Not
no,
really.
I don't. I learned that lesson once. It was horrible.
All right,
I'll never
so
go back to Kentucky.
oh, all right. So let's see. We've got about 10 minutes here. What other stuff do we want to cover? Do we want to cover some stuff going on in the news or gun stuff that's going on? I don't know if there's anything in the chat, anything else that we could cover here. Either one of you, feel free to take the reins while I scroll through some stuff here and see what's going on.
I'll take the reins. I'm in the market. I'm looking for an AK. That's my next pickup.
You're looking for an AK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What AK are you looking for?
Well, I didn't know what I was looking for, so I went and found Mr. Hank Strange's video when he went to go talk to Mr. Jim Fuller.
Okay.
And then went looking all through Reid's videos, Robski. I was looking for a rocket ship for $50, and then Robski said buy once, cry once. So I think and again, you're gonna get the fanboys, they're gonna come out and shame me for it. I think I'm gonna go with something out of Arsenal.
Okay.
I don't know as what yet. Yet.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You're in Melbourne-ish?
Mm-hmm.
I have every tool needed to make an AK on your own from a flat. I'm serious. You are welcome. You're only like 2 hours away.
He's not kidding.
You're only like 2 hours away. You are more than welcome to buy a parts kit and a flat and come build it.
What?
Take a weekend, come and build.
What? Hey, that's awesome. Thank you so much,
I'm
man.
completely serious.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get with
So if
you.
you
on
want
that.
And if I can contribute to that, if I can help out
Yeah.
somehow, let me know.
We can make a build out of it.
Yeah, I'll get the parts.
Only thing you have to do is make your own receiver. I can't do that for you. I'm not an FFL,
Okay.
so I can't do that.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do any of that stuff.
I'll show you how to do it. It's super easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being honest here, y'all. And this is the thing, and this goes back to the FUDs. Okay, I don't own a semi-automatic rifle. I'm being serious. That's why I want to get an AK. I have a Maverick 12 gauge and a Springfield XD45. I'm a family man. I'm a family man. That's my thing. I love firearms. I love going out and shooting. But my son and my family and the bills and my job, they all have to come first because I got to put food on the table. So, my thing is I've never gotten the chance to get one. But that goes back to the FUDs. If you don't have one and you're not fighting, well, I don't need that. Well, I don't got one either, buddy, and I'm out here doing it.
Yeah, you're fighting for it, but we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna help you.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't. No, I got.
You can get a parts kit for like $350. You buy a barrel, and we build it in a weekend. It's easy.
Whoa, heck! See, I mean, that's the thing. I'm not I'm not like into the Uber 2A community where I've gone out to SHOT Show. I'm one of those guys that watch YouTube, SHOT Show on YouTube, just going, I wish I could be there.
Listen, take it from me, man. That's not the real. I'm not knocking anyone, including myself. But you're the people are what counts here. I always tell people that it's not me. I can't do this on my own. People out there make a choice to watch what I do, to support me. It's not me alone doing it, because I could easily just be out here and no one gives a damn what happens. There's people out there that make this happen, right? Mm-hmm. And it's always amazing to me, and it's probably amazing to him. He's like, why the hell do people listen to your crazy ass? But I think they like the crazy.
I guess so.
Just a little bit. They like it.
So
So yeah, let's make that happen, man. And anything else that we can do to help you out here in Florida, we can definitely help you out here. So
like the crazy.
We got to take care of each other. Yeah, you're talking about me. That's a good look. You look a lot better.
I think it's the mohawk.
You want to put that on, Hank?
Me? No, not now that baby face is full. You just messed up my thing. No, I don't think so. That's got the cooties on it now. Yeah. Here, I'm going to put the cooties on your.
Well, don't touch the python.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't touch my snake.
Yeah, no, that's my snake. All right, so let's see. Did you guys come up with any news or anything going on, Jordan?
So I know a lot of people, and this is completely changing the subject, but we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, take us away from the python.
A lot of people have, criticized Facebook for suppressing posts and things like that. So I'm on a new social media platform called Minds.com, and I'm still trying to figure it all out. and work out the kinks. But if you're on minds.com, I think it's you subscribe to me, and I'll see if I can subscribe to you back. And I like it because you can kind of organically boost your posts by interacting on the app. So I don't know if that's a thing or not, if we're going to take off, but it's looks like a way that's not going to suppress Facebook posts or put things down like that. So that's kind of a new platform I'm on. So.
Yeah, I think everyone should try that. By the way, we're getting invaded right now by the youth. It's okay. It's okay. You can let she's cute. She can climb up there.
Oh, that's my son, man.
We'll watch her.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh, that's a boy. It's a boy.
No,
why did you say that?
Don't look at me.
No, it's a good-looking, handsome young man. What's his name?
No, that's my boy. His name's Brady.
Brady. What's up, Brady?
Braden. Brayden.
Oh, Braden. Braden, what's up?
Say hi, buddy.
Hi. What's going on? We're taking up daddy time right now. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Yeah, we're taking up daddy time. Oh, go ahead. Open this. So we've got some news here in the same vein as Dick's Sporting Goods. And these guys can also go Dick's.
Everybody hates them anyways.
Yeah, they can go suck Dick's thing as far as I'm concerned. If you guys check this out, Walmart, dudes. Walmart is also raising the minimum age to purchase to 21.
You know what's funny?
Walmart is doing that.
You hear so many anti-gunners that are like, "Oh, I have no problem with hunting. I have no problem with you owning a rifle to hunt."
It was nice and dark in there.
I have no problem with you hunting. Yeah, Walmart only sells hunting rifles, so clearly you have some problem with hunting.
Yeah.
And the Second Amendment is absolutely not about hunting.
Oh, of course.
It's about preventing a tyrannical government. That's what gun rights and self-defense is all about. It's not about hunting. So I hear that, and you look at all these statements and they preface it as like, we are strong supporters of the Second Amendment, but once you say but, you've lost it.
I mean, you need to put a period
after the Second Amendment.
You put a period after that with no caveats.
Yeah,
yep.
Only the asses that we're kicking. Those are the only butts that are there. This is amazing, man. I mean, I don't know. Where the hell do we shop? We need to learn how to grow our own. We need to grow our own food, man.
Local stuff.
Yeah, local stuff.
Oh my God! Here in Gainesville, you can find like fruits and veg. There's farmer markets like all over the place. You don't need to shop at Walmart.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead, James.
What I was gonna say is basically, if you go study your laws, especially like the Supreme Court has passed. I cannot pronounce the first name to this, but it's like Carano versus Massachusetts. It's the stun gun case. Mm-hmm. The Supreme Court ruled that the Second Amendment applies to all bearable arms, including or not limited to whatever the verbiage is, weapons of warfare. Mm-hmm. And for anybody who wants to say, just like what Reid was saying, the Armalite rifle Model 15 is not an assault rifle. It's not an automatic weapon. People need to dispel ignorance wherever they find it.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. I have a friend's wife who, a really close friend, both of them I've known for a long time. And she was very anti-gun for a long time until he started taking her to shoot, and she loved it. This recent shooting, she's a teacher, so it kind of had her on edge. And it sounds like the two of them sat down and talked guns for a while, and he dispelled myths. And she's like, I get it. I totally understand. I totally get it.
A lot of what's out there is programming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what's happening? Yeah. A lot of this is programming.
Misinformation.
And I think that goes back to what else can you do to be active is take people shooting, because
oh my God,
if you take people shooing and you do it responsibly, not like that CNN thing, that was
my God.
The fully semi-automatic.
Oh yeah, you have it. Proper eye and ear pro. A proper grip and all the right safety measures and all of that 9 yards. That will people realize these aren't evil, crazy killing machines. Totally. It's just a tool. And it's a lot of fun as well.
Exactly.
And friends don't let friends shoot an AR-15 like a sissy, and especially if you're a general, you don't let dudes shoot an AR-15 like.
No,
that was just ridiculous. Go ahead, James.
And something yeah, Bubby. As gun owners, we are ambassadors to the Second Amendment. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
you know,
You hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
bud. So and it's like something I joked about once, and it could be a new hashtag. Hashtag take a liberal to the range. Be an ambassador to the Second Amendment. Change minds. Show them that this is a machine that does what I want it to do when I tell it to do it.
Hi.
Yeah.
Braden, he needs his own YouTube channel.
He does.
I'm telling you, this kid would just.
I don't know
where
did he get it from. No, he pretty much gets that from you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know he's my
No,
everything.
he's never giving up the spotlight now, man. We might as well wrap this. We might as well wrap this up, right? Go ahead, finish your sentence there, man, and we'll start wrapping up.
This little guy right here is why we're fighting. It's not for our gun rights; it's for the future gun rights of future Americans. Because of the Second Amendment,
500 thumbs up.
Oh, we got 500 thumbs up.
505.
That's all this cute gentleman right here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Future of America right there. Future president.
Okay, that's a good thing. So we've never had to face tyrannicalism because of just the mere thought of how bloody the fight would be from the Second Amendment. I've had that privilege. We've had that privilege, gentlemen. If we don't fight, he will not. He will
Amen.
not. He will not be able to defend himself. And again, all gun laws do is regulate how good men can fight evil, and that's it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Jordan, I'm going to let you get your last words in here, man.
Yeah, well, again, Hank, thanks for having me on. And if you've joined GOA either recently or during this chat, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I mean, it means so much. You're part of the GOA family. So thank you for that. And other ways you can connect with us, you can follow GOA on Twitter and Instagram, like us on Facebook. I'm on Twitter as well at Jordan K. Stein. I'm also on Minds at Jordan K. Stein. So if you want to connect with me there,
shoot that MINES?
Yeah, Minds like out of your mind.
MINDS.
MINDS.
So I'm on there, so you can give me a follow. If you need to contact me, message me on Twitter, and I'll do my best to get back to you. It's been quite busy, but yeah, thank you so much for having me on again, Hank. And be active. Call your reps.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jordan. And guys, I would follow Jordan just because if you can get in on the ground floor of like a future senator,
that's right,
president, because that's
Jordan. That's where he's going.
Like 20. How old are you? 22?
I'm 23, but 23. I have no plans to run for office. I don't want to become a swamp creature. So
no, but let me tell you something, man. I think you're the good kind of guy that should do it at some point. It
needs to be the guys that don't want to be there.
Yeah, to be your age and doing what you're doing, man. I admire you. I'm proud of you. Keep doing it. And just my advice to people, I'm a little bit of like, I can see the future senator, president, something like that.
I say, yeah,
man. I gotta say that.
I'd vote for him.
Yeah, I'd vote for him.
Absolutely. All right, guys, listen. So I'm going to wrap this up. We all have to go here. I want to thank James for coming on. Don't forget about the Rally and Tally, guys. Get out there. It's on Facebook. Rally and Tally. Search it. Get involved. Florida belongs to us. All right, and let's make sure that we keep it that way. Also follow the GOA. Thanks to everyone for the support. Don't forget to go to hankstrange.tv and put in your email in there, and that's how you'll be able to keep up with me in the future. And we could deal with a lot of stuff like what's happening. We might as well do it now since we didn't do it in the past. All right, I'm Hank Strange. Thanks everyone for joining. We are out of here. Thanks to Babyface as well. Baby, if I forget, then he's just going to chastise me.
What
about Lola?
Big Daddy Guns.
Oh, Big Daddy Guns. Big Daddy Guns. Of course, Andrew's Custom Leather. A shout out to Andrew's Custom Leather, guys. Don't forget to help support Andrew's Custom Leather as well as Safety Harbor Firearms and Big Daddy Guns. And guess what? We got ATI Outdoors, also one of our sponsors here that's just coming on. We're just bringing them on board. All right. And you know what? We've got a lot of support on Patreon, man. A lot of people supported us on Patreon. Thanks to everyone that supported us on Patreon. We love and appreciate you. I'm Hank Strange. This is Babyface P. And for Lola and everyone else, we're out of here. Peace. Good night.